Now, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex continue their 4-day crazy royal tour of Colombia. They've taken part in an art session and planted trees, as royals do, in inverted commas there, by the way, during a visit to a school in the capital. But it's been revealed their security detail is using a bulletproof briefcase to protect the couple from potential shooters. Doesn't sound overly safe, does it? Joining me now is former BBC royal correspondent Michael Cole. Michael, lovely to see you, looking very dapper as usual. Thank you for joining me. Now, this isn't a royal tour, obviously, because they've stepped away from their royal duties. What do we make of how this is being handled out in Colombia with Harry and Meghan?
Good afternoon, Dawn. A pleasure to be with you. The couple have had 3 layers of security around them. The big, beefy ex-military boys who are the bodyguards, close protection. Then there's the outer circle of uniformed police, and then mingling in the crowds, undercover police spotting any trouble. And they've been travelling around the country in a convoy of bulletproof cars with a couple of ambulances in the convoy. Well, you don't often see that coming down the road from Northolt into London, bringing a royal personage back to Buckingham Palace. But when you look at this tour, and as you say, it's the do it our way semi-royal tour of Colombia, the Sussexes in South America. What you can say is the star of the show has definitely been Meghan, and there we see her. She's been wearing many thousands of pesos worth of outfits while she's there, smiling, as you can see, all the time. I mean, she is very much to the palace born, and this is the greatest role she's ever played, and she's playing it to the hilt. I must say that the prince, sometimes he looks a little bit doubtful, a little bit diffident, but then he warms up when he meets the children or he meets the wounded veterans who will be taking part in his Invictus Games. It's a strange thing they've done because, as you say, it's not a royal tour. It's doing it their way. I think at the end of it, they will think that they've had a great success. And I'm sure that the left-wing government of Colombia will relish the little bit of royal stardust that Meghan, among other, with her husband, have brought to the regime, because it has had its problems. The lady on the right there is their guest, Miss Marquez. She was a housemaid. She was a mother at the age of 16, but she's now the vice president of the country. And she invited them there. She's a bit controversial because she's the Minister of Equality as well as Justice. And the people are criticizing her. There she is again, for riding around the country in helicopters. And the official residence for the Vice President wasn't quite good enough for her, so she built her own house. So it's another one of those, don't do as I do, do as I say.
There's a lot of that about. That's Michael Cole bringing us up to speed on the Duke and Duchess of Sussex in Colombia. Thank you very much, Michael. Now, I've still got Matthew Stadler and Mike Parry with me, and I'm going to... You spoke a lot last time, Matthew, it has to be said. So I'm coming to you first on this one, Mike. What do you make of the royal tour of Colombia that's currently going on?
And when Matt last spoke, they were words of wisdom.
They were always words of wisdom.
No problem at all.
No.
I feel increasingly sorry for Harry because I think he's getting isolated, and I can see him coming back within the next 2 years.
Oh, really?
I think he's so isolated now. This tour of Colombia is all about,
Queen Meghan.
I wasn't going to call her Queen Meghan, but you have done. But, I mean, it is all about that. I mean, they must have spent the last 3 months desperately searching for a country somewhere in the world where they could do a royal tour, and the best they could come up with was the 18th most dangerous country in the world and the crime capital of South America, Colombia. It beggars belief the lengths they're going to now to try and put themselves in the public eye. I think that their ambitions in life now are going to divide fairly soon. I think she wants to be taken more seriously, maybe even a life in politics, certainly to involve a greater commercial ability to raise money. Harry, I think, he's like a guy who's been smacked in the face with a pan, suddenly woke up and thought, what have I done?
Oh, ouch.
You've missed that one
Matthew,
important ingredient, which is why they're actually there, Mike. Why are they there?
Will you tell me?
I'll tell you, they're there to promote mental health for children and to combat cyberbullying. So why not focus on that? Because that seems to me, and I'm sure you'd agree, a very worthy thing to be doing in Colombia.
Matt, if that had occurred to me first off, I'd have said to you, what a worthy trip. I haven't heard one line about the charities they're supporting while they're there. All I've seen are great photo opportunities, great words from Meghan, Harry talking to children in Spanish. I haven't heard them mention their charities.
And actually, and nor have I.